Long time no see, everyone. It's your old mate, Jacargon, back at it again. This time with a look at a Japanese designer that I've been very into as of late, Soshiotsuki. Now, if you're enjoying the content, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also comments, very, very much appreciated. Discord link is down in the description below if you'd like to join the community. Lots and lots of cool fits, lots of really, really fun discussion. I feel like I'm waking up each day to just such long threads about all sorts of different things. So if you're interested, feel free to join. Also, as you can see, new space. I moved house. I completely forgot to ever do a tour of the old house. And we'll see how this one goes, whether or not I get around to actually doing one. But I am in my living alone era now, which is exciting, is a little bit expensive, but we'll save that for another video. Let's talk about Soshiotsuki. Now, Soshiotsuki is a label created by designer Soshiotsuki. Yeah, wild name, but I love it. It's very, very, I don't know. Love saying it, Soshiotsuki. Really, really cool. Imagine having a name like that. But the label was created in 2015. And then the second collection that they released in 2016 was shortlisted for the LVMH prize, which is pretty exciting. Just getting this information off the direct website itself. They graduated from the Bunka Fashion College, which I feel like is probably one of the places, if not the place in Japan where people go to learn about fashion. A lot of designers have come out of there. You could probably list any Japanese designer you know, and they most likely went to Bunka. A lot of the silhouettes that Soshiotsuki has put out in the past look very inspired by sort of traditional Japanese ideals and philosophies mixed with Buddhism. You see a lot of sort of like beads or motifs that are very, very common around shrines and temples. And also then mixed with sort of militaristic style silhouettes and cutting that makes this kind of unique blend between the two. I'm not really familiar with anything else that is quite like it, and it has always stood out to me as being something very, very appealing. That being said, though, the most recent collection that he has put out, I think it's the Spring-Summer 24 collection, I may be incorrect, is a departure from everything past. Perhaps we'll talk about that in a different video because it is very different to what has come before. It is very, very cool, very like oversized silhouettes, very 80s style, really broad shoulders, a lot of tailoring going on. But that's now. So let's talk about before. And I've had the chance to be able to pick up a couple of pieces, well, 3 pieces, over the past few months since I did first discover this brand, to kind of just like have a look into what the things are like in person. And it's always different seeing things in person compared to seeing them in pictures. And there's nowhere in Australia that stocks it. And I feel like I should also mention how I found this brand. And it was from a fateful day in Tokyo when I was last there in December. I walked into the Kindle in Harajuku, sort of off Omotesando Dori. If you're not familiar with a Kindle, it is a designer select shop. And select shops are basically sort of like thrifts, but everything is chosen. It's not just they receive bucket loads of things and just put it all up for sale. They make very, very informed decisions of what they are going to put up. And most of it is sort of designer, high-end, sometimes artisanal type things you can find in there. It's pretty exciting going to these places. Sometimes can be a bit chaotic, but with this one, walked in and it's the layout of the shop. And the first thing that I saw facing me was just this beautiful denim jacket. And with experience in shopping in Japan, I rarely try things on because things just don't fit someone of my build. It is just how it is. So I rarely even bother, but I looked at it and was like, this is incredible. I love the pleats on it. I love the shape of it. It's very, very boxy, very, very lovely. Was like, look, just going to look at it, like checked who it was from. Was like, I've never heard of this brand before. Went home, back to where I was staying, looked it up and saw that the measurements would actually fit me. And I was like, oh my goodness, I got to come back tomorrow. Went back tomorrow and it was gone. It was gone. I failed, and now I shall never repeat that same mistake again. I will try a thing on, having done that since, a lot of things still don't fit. In fact, the majority don't fit. But at least we will avoid that from happening. But anyway, back to Soshiotsuki. So looking up that, finding this jacket and seeing that it was a piece that is seemingly released each year in different forms, that is known as the BDH jacket, which is a great segue into having a look at the BDH jacket itself. So I was able to find one of these on Mercari. The resale on these, even in the Japanese secondhand market, is almost the same as retail. And because each season they do get re-released with some revisions and say like different fabrics or different sort of detailing or blemishes, they can become highly sought after since they are just representative of the season that they are from. So I was able to find this one, which is a relatively older one, and you can denote that by the fact that it does not have side pockets, which is something that, I kind of wish it did have side pockets, but I was able to find this one for a pretty good price. Instead of the side pockets that you'll see on more recent ones, we do have these two chest pockets on either side. So this is a spring-summer 21 BDH jacket. As we can see here, just beautiful detailing throughout. I love these pleats, the triple pleats on either side. And reading about this jacket, it is inspired by the doors of the Todaiji Temple, which is in Nara, kind of close to Kyoto. If you ever go to Kyoto in Japan, you will most likely do at least a day trip to Nara. It's beautiful. Todaiji Temple is incredible. It's very, very big. That's what I remember it being as, just absurdly big, just so impressive and incredible. So the doors of the temple sort of are reflected in these pleats here. As you can see, there are also the studs decorating the piece throughout as well. If we get a bit of a closer up, we can see that there is like wear on the buttons and studs themselves on purpose. That isn't always something that is in each model of them, but they do all look like a little bit rusted, a little bit used, a little bit worn, which is very, very lovely. So this jacket is a mix between a type 1 and a type 2. We can see we have the belt loops. I'm going to assume they're belt loops down here below. And then on the back, we also have a cinch to adjust the silhouette as well. In following up, as I mentioned before, lots of like the traditional type of Japanese influences. We can see that on the cuffs, we have these little like wooden door knocker type parts actually made from wood, just hanging there. And I was always wondering, like, what is the purpose of these? Is it just like a detail? Is it a signifier? And found out that if you undo the cuff and lift it up to sort of like raise to sort of like bunch up the cuff, you do have this inner little piece here with another decorated button with the sort of aged blemishes. This is a button you don't even see, which is wild, but then you can slot it through the wooden part to hold the cuff up in place, which is a very, very neat detail. Funny, it's just exploring pieces and being like, oh, I wonder what that's for. And finding that out was really, really cool. We can see that we have another door knocker type part here as well on the front. Perhaps you could hang keys or, the accoutrements, a plush off it if you would. I haven't really hung anything off it, but it's just a nice little detail there as well. Another great thing to notice, and this is something that is seemingly uniform across all the pieces, is the label. So We can see here that we have this leather patch, sort of a military inspired leather patch with some year detail information at the top, and then also the size. This is a size 46, so it's relatively small, but because it is such an oversized jacket, it does fit me, as an LXL, which I'm very, very thankful for. You won't always see a leather patch on their pieces, but their tag is very much similar to this, just with different numbers and information on there. In addition to that, you've already seen it here, but we have this gorgeous little paper cutout that comes down and across here as well. You see these in Japan sort of hanging off sacred objects. Like if you go to some temples, you might see trees with a large rope around them and these paper hangers there, and it denotes, that they are of high importance to the area or to the culture. But it is cool to see that their pieces do have these throughout as, another little tag thing, which is really, really cool. So overall, this jacket is unreal. I am so happy with it. The only thing I wish it had would be side pockets, because, you put on a jacket and you immediately want to put your hands in pockets, or at least I do. This doesn't have it, but very, very happy with it. And there's so many different models. You can find more destroyed ones recently, ones made from wool, ones with sort of different layouts, ones with studs all over them. So it's cool to see that they have stuck with the same base design, but they have expanded into sort of different ways of differentiating each season from each other, which is really neat as well. There's also a coverall version of this jacket, which has a longer piece that is layered underneath this. So instead of sitting boxier, it sits a bit longer. Retail, I think they might be about similar. Resale though, those ones do sometimes resale for significantly less. I guess less in demand than the boxy ones, but I still think they look cool. Like they could definitely suit specific types of outfits and vibes. But overall, this is the Soshiotsuki BDH jacket. So let's pop it on so you've got a bit of a frame of reference of what it looks like on body. So as you can see, it does fit quite boxy. Like I'm wearing just a regular length shirt underneath and it is poking out there. It's a really, really great fit overall. I wonder though how it'd look with a larger size, considering this one is a medium. Like they do come in a 44 as well, which is probably the smallest, but this is a medium and it does, like, as you can see, it fits me really nicely. Can do the sleeves for you. So as you can see, it just holds them in place as well. I love this jacket so much. Probably one of my favorite pieces in my collection. For sure. So next up in the collection of pieces is actually the first Soshiotsuki piece that I got. I really, really wanted to get something from them. Couldn't really find the BDH jacket at a price that I was comfortable with, but did come across this one, which I hadn't seen before. But again, the measurements listed online were ideal to my body, or I knew that it was going to fit regardless. So I picked this one up, and this is the Kesa breasted Coach jacket in 100% wool and also fully lined in Cupro as well. And if you've been to this channel before, my body is miserable with wool on skin. So the fact that this is lined is a blessing, makes it just so much more comfortable to wear as well. And so with a Kesa breast, from what I've been able to find, it is sort of a type of Buddhist like covering where there is like a wrap that goes across this shoulder. And the way that that's represented in here, as you can see with this gorgeous double layered wood ring, similar to the ones on the BDH jacket there, with then buttons that come down. And so this is designed so that you can button the main section across to this side, or you can link it across here as well. And that also explains why the jacket is so wide, because for I guess let's just say a more slender Japanese body, you are able to wrap it across like completely so it kind of engulfs the body. Whereas for me, I have to move this part kind of across there. I can maybe just do one button, but the entire wrap thing doesn't really work because I am a wide boy. It's just how I'm built. Other details on this, though, we do have 2 flat pockets on either side and also a entire hem cinch with really lovely thick cords on both sides. So you can work on doing that as well. See the wrist cuff buttons here and the back, which is just nice and plain as well. You can see that this is sort of bunched up here. That's just through like the cinching, and I've worn it cinched before to try and give it a bit of a balloony silhouette when I do wear it. You can also see the tag here as well, similar to the other one. It is definitely a repeated motif. I wonder if it'll be on the new tailoring. That's what I'm very, very curious about. And unfortunately, we don't have anywhere here in Australia that stocks this, so I'm only going to be able to find it in Japan. You can see the inner tag there as well, following the same militaristic style part. This one isn't leather, but it still has all the information, so we can see that it's a 46 and also the year and make as well. So to confirm when this one's from, spring summer 20. So a year before the BDH jacket that I have. It's just also wild that 2020 is 4 years ago. My goodness. My favorite part is just this. It's so, so lovely. What a really, really great detail. It's a very simple coats jacket. It being wool, it is also not super heavy. It's not super intrusive. It is actually very, very high quality, soft on skin as well. Let's pop it on so you can see what it does look like on body. To note as well, we have 2 buttons on the cuffs as well, so you can vary the type of look that it gives you as well. So as you can see, it is very, very large and oversized. The sleeves as well are very, very big. It's wild to think this is a 46, and even on me, it is quite large. So I would always button to the second one, because buttoning to the first one didn't always give you as much security on the wrist as you'd hope. So looking like this, very lovely and oversized. Little pockets in there as well. A really cool piece overall. And if you wanted to like change buttoning or layouts, you could always say like cross this over like so. And just have like a different sort of effect on there as well. You can also just make it hang other parts, just like buttoning it in weird ways, crossing over, doing all sorts of things. But there's options you have that I feel like in some of the old styling for it, you're also like encouraged to take, which is really cool. But yeah, this is the coast jacket. Now for the final piece of the few things that I have, it has been great being able to pick up a couple of things from the label. They do offer a lot of like bottoms, pants type situations, but I have not ever found a pair that would fit my waist. I think the largest waist that I've seen them go to is like an 82 centimeter waist, which is just not me. So I will probably never be able to fit in any of their pants. Hopefully there are larger sizes sold in future. That would be really, really cool. But that is also a reason why there are no pants in this video. But final piece, a very, very special one Found this by chance. So this is a sailor collared trench coat from autumn winter 19. It is made of a very, very heavy cotton. It almost is kind of moleskinny. Perhaps it is, maybe not quite. You can still see that we have the gorgeous label motif in here. On the inside, we also have the label as well. It is fully lined with these giant side slits. It's really heavy. We have like the large lapels and then the rear sailor collar here as well. We have a back cinch with a few buttons on there on either side. So you could, change this up however you'd like it to fit. Wow, this is a heavy coat. We also have these interesting pocket details on either side. Ollie from Lastly did mention that these were kind of like policeman coat pockets. We can see with this like lovely, kind of looks like a crown almost, so we can see those there. In addition to that, similar motif on the cuffs as well with real buttons. Like this can be opened. These buttons are not just like a false showing that you can sometimes see on some coats, but they are real as well. This coat, I was curious about it because I had seen a few floating around. They also do come in a very gorgeous red as well as in cream and also in wool variants. But because of, my issues with wool, I already have a couple of wool coats. Was curious about this one in cotton, and it is pretty impressive. I've only ever worn it once to sort of show. I like to go to Lastly in the city and show Ollie pieces that I picked up because Ollie is very, very aware and experienced in working in fashion. So having a friend that can explain to you a lot of things about pieces that you may not know is a godsend. So shout outs to Ollie. I really appreciate you being patient with me, asking you questions. Pockets are lined with white. There is no white lining elsewhere in this. So interesting that just the pockets have that white lining. A final thing though, before we pop it on, is we have like this little notch here. So the original jackets, coats would come with just like a long leather cord from here. I'm not sure the purpose of said cord, whether you're supposed to sort of wrap it around something, but the seller had mentioned that they'd lost it, so it does not have said cord on it, which is fine. We can get leather laces anywhere, or maybe we can attach a chain or like a little cute plush or something to there as well. But let's pop this one on. This is just such a cool piece that let's put it on. The impressive thing about this one is just how long it is. Like we're almost like towards floor length. Not really wearing anything too exciting underneath, just a long sleeve. But this is what the coat looks like on body. And I seem to have a lip mask. I think this is from the person that sold it to me. Why have I never put my hand in that pocket? This is not mine. I swear, some sellers, I actually got a pair of Apple headphones, not like AirPods, just like corded Apple headphones in a package. This is the coat. I'll just move this out of the way so you can, see like a full body. Looking like so. We'll button it up all the way. I generally don't like to wear coats buttoned up because I like them to sort of just float and faff about. But as you can see, this in a 46 it still fits quite well. These gorgeous side slits. Easy pocket access. Very, very lovely. I feel like with a sailor collar, you can't really pop it. It then gives you like very vampire vibes. No button to close if you do want to do this, but this also kind of looks quite silly if you pop it up. Yeah. Unbutton it. And we also see we have an inner button here. It looks like it's for this here, so we can button this one bit. I'm not sure what that's for, whether it's like to kind of like leave it open or it's to like help hold shape. So if you button this over, then maybe you button this through here so it keeps like the shape of the coat a bit better. Potentially that, but yeah, this is the sailor collar. The sailor collar coat. One of my favorites. I don't know how we'll get around to styling this properly, but it's awesome. It's just so cool. I would have popped the collar again. Yeah. All right, so that has been a look at Soshiotsuki. Just the 3 pieces that I have that I've been very, very lucky to get my hands on. This coach jacket has just sold as well. So going to a new home, for me personally, it just wasn't something I was gravitating towards. I like it, but I also just do not wear it. I think maybe like the very, very boxy nature of it was a bit too much for me, but it's still a gorgeous piece. Like, do not get me wrong. It is lovely. BDH jacket. This is this was my no-buy, the no-buy wild card. And I'm so, so happy with it. So glad that I found this piece as well. And then this sailor collar coat is just a wild coat. I feel like the past year has been just upping my coat game because I used to just have mainly one coat that I'd wear. And it's a gorgeous coat, but now having a couple of other coats in the arsenal, I am peak coat. Maybe I do not need any more coats, but yeah. Worth checking out Soshiotsuki if you're interested. Hopefully this has given you some insight. I will have popped the information of each piece, including the style codes, in the description below, as well as they would have already been on screen when they were being spoken about as well. Have a look. I mean, I don't know where they are stocked abroad, but in Japan, you can find them at places like Studios, and you can also check on their website to see other brick and mortar stores they are stocked. Essence, Huiben have them online, but it's just one of those things where you want to see the pieces in person and appreciate them before just buying something based on a photo you've seen. At least that's what I'm gravitating towards, but also mainly that's probably because nothing ever fits me. I'm outing myself here. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any questions on these 3 pieces, let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. Shout outs to Soshiotsuki. This video is not sponsored, but thank you for making really, really cool garments and can't wait to see what comes next. It's almost 10 years since inception of the brand and don't really see a lot of people talking about them outside of Japan. So hopefully this video garners a little bit of interest. Or maybe some more interest. We'll see how we go. All right, you'll take care, have fun, be safe, and as always, don't do anything I'd do except check out Soshiotsuki. Why not? I mean, you'll take care. Bye-bye.